It's going. We're live, Blaise. You say, hey.
Hi.
What's up, everybody?
Oh.
What?
The pepper grinder is low of pepper.
We're low on pepper, so we should fill our pepper grinder. Before that, let's let the people know what we are doing today, what did we do with it? Where is it?
Oh.
Do you know what this is? Well,
oh.
yeah, we got the pepper grinder. Do you know what this is?
What's that?
It's a Chayote Squash.
That's a cool name.
Chayote. This is a really fun, you can see that you find this in a lot of Latin American cooking, a lot of South American cooking, but we have them here in Arizona. I think you can probably get them all over the U.S. I'm curious to know outside the U.S. where you can get them, but they have them at our local grocery store. And so I am making tacos for dinner tonight. We've got some people coming over. We're gonna make some flour tortillas. I've got some grilled chicken going on, some other vegetables. So I thought, let's also throw some chayote in the mix because I had it in the fridge and it goes with tacos. But I thought maybe a lot of people might not know how to work with chayote. So I wanted to show you. What do you think, Blaise?
Good.
Does that sound good? Looks like we got a couple people on. If you guys have any questions, let us know. Or if you want to shout out where you're from. You're very concerned about filling the pepper. Should we do that first?
Yeah.
Okay, let's fill the pepper first. So we got our peppercorns.
We need a bowl.
Here, we can just pour it in like this.
Oh, I want to try.
You want to work on filling the pepper while I cut up the squash? Yeah. So here's the deal with the chayote, you guys, is it's got this really thin skin. I did wash it off really nicely. Oh, we're gonna end up with peppercorns everywhere. But I washed this off really well. It's got a really thin skin, so you can definitely get your peeler out and peel it if you want, but I kind of am being lazy and I don't mind the little extra bit of texture that you get from the skin. And if you cut into it just with a nice sharp knife right down the middle, you'll open it up and you'll see there is this little, careful buddy. Here, do you want to put it in this bowl? And then you can put them in one at a time. Okay. Otherwise, we're gonna have pepper all over the house when the people come. So you see in the middle here, there is a little seed and we can just take that seed. It pops right out, no big deal. And I cut it in half, so you can see it's easy enough just to eject like that. Pretty easy so far, right, you guys? No big deal. All right, so Blaise is working on, I'm gonna slice this out so that it comes out nicely. There we go, there's the rest of the seed. Now if you actually, oh buddy. I have pepper all over the house. Now, if you let this sit on the counter too long, because that's the nice thing about chayote, it keeps for a good long time. If you let this sit on the counter for a while, like maybe a week or two, it would actually start to sprout out the other end, which is kind of exciting, and you could grow your own chayote. So we do want to cook this, and what I'm going to do today, you can boil it. I think a lot of Jamaican cuisine, they do boil it, they throw it in soups. For me, I'm just going to dice it up here and I'm going to roast it because to me that's kind of the easiest way to handle it and deal with it. I actually do have another recipe that is on my channel. I did with a friend of mine who actually introduced me originally to chayote. It was a Guatemalan recipe and we actually sauteed it up with chicken, and I can't remember the name of that recipe, but it was pretty tasty. Do you want to check out the chayote, buddy? I don't think it's not problematic to eat it raw, but it's just not super delicious. Not bad. It's got a lot of natural sweetness to it, which is great when we roast it. It is a squash, but it's also related to cucumber, which you love cucumber. And so what I've got is a pan here and just a little bit of parchment paper. We are going to toss this up with a little bit of oil and some salt and pepper, which we got peppercorn everywhere, buddy. What should we do about that? You gonna clean it up? Maybe. So Blaise is excited because he's going back to school this week, but before then, he's actually gonna be on TV with me this week. Do you know that, buddy? You didn't know that? On Tuesday, we're gonna do TV together. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun. We're gonna do some back to school recipes. All right, so for those of you just joining, we're dealing with a chayote squash. And so what you can see, what I'm doing now is I already halved it and then I'm just slicing it. Kind of like about, let's see, what is that, about a half an inch, about an inch, probably an inch. I'm terrible with measurements. About an inch thick, and then I'm just going down this way, and this is making nice little sort of inch-sized, 3/4 inch sized cubes, which for me is gonna be perfect, because I do wanna serve these, oven's preheated, I do wanna serve these inside of tacos. So to me, that's gonna be just the right size to go with everything else we're putting in our tacos. Oh, we got him on the pepper detail over here. All right, so I've got all my chayote squash here. Looking pretty good. So now what I'm gonna do, gotta get a little bit of oil. So we do wanna make sure this doesn't stick, and add just a little bit of fat. So I'm using grapeseed oil. I am notorious for always using grapeseed oil in the kitchen. It's the one kind of oil I've always got on hand. What's up?
Next, I'll just sweep the floor.
You're gonna sweep the floor? Well, I'm gonna have you help me make tortillas in a moment. You up for helping me make tortillas?
Next I'm gonna sweep the...
We're gonna sweep the floor. We're gonna keep it really clean around here.
I'm gonna sweep the pepper things off.
Okay, perfect. So, real quick, why I use grapeseed oil.
Can you give pepper things to me?
Pepper things? What pepper things?
Down here.
I don't see pepper things down. Oh, there's some little pieces of peppercorns. There you go, buddy. There's your peppercorns. So the reason that I use grapeseed oil.
More.
Oh my stars. There's more pepper. The reason that I use grapeseed oil is because it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. So when you're doing something like this, it works well because it's not going to interfere with the natural flavors of the chayote, which doesn't have a ton of flavor, but once we roast it, that's really going to come through. But also because grapeseed oil has a high smoke point. So we are going to be roasting these at 450 degrees in the oven for about...
Now I'm going to sweep the floor.
You're going to sweep the floor? Okay. Blaise is busy sweeping the floor. So we're gonna roast these for about 20 minutes at 425, 450. You want a really nice high heat so we get some caramelization on there. But grapeseed oil is great because it has a high smoke point so it won't break down on us. And I've already preheated my oven. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss these in here real quick. And then we gotta keep an eyeball. It's 3:50 p.m. where we are here in Arizona right now. So at about 4:10 is when we're gonna pull these out. And then meanwhile, I wanna make some tortillas because like I said, I'm making tacos. I've got some chicken that's marinating in the oven that I'm gonna grill. And then we also have some salsa and some avocado. I've also got some beans going over here, but I wanna pull it all together with some great homemade flour tortillas. So do you wanna help me make tortillas, Blaise?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Almost ready.
It's almost ready. It's a very busy man. This is intense being 5. How old are you? 5 years old?
5.
5. We're 5. So, okay, let me put your peppercorns somewhere. We got to stash your peppercorns in their own little dish so that I can use this to do our tortillas. So what I'm doing today, I'm doing flour tortillas. I personally enjoy corn a lot more, and I had thought I had bought masa harina. Oh, we got all our... Do you want to show them your lovies?
Yeah.
Yeah? Here, should we show them? Who's this?
Kitty cat.
Kitty Cat. Is Kitty Cat going to cook with us? Who else we got here?
Kitty's here.
And Kitty's here as well. So we got Kitty Cat and Kitty. Now who's that?
This is Pillow Pup.
Pillow Pup. He's going to help us too. So when I was at the store, I thought I got masa harina for a corn-based tortilla mix, but instead I accidentally ended up with flour. But that's not a problem, right? We don't mind flour. So we're going to use the flour, and this stuff is great because it's already pre-done, pre-mixed. I do have a flour tortilla recipe on my YouTube channel and on my website, but this stuff is like you really don't even have to think about it. Here's the label. It's just a very simple flour tortilla mix, and you just add water. Now the trick though is to know the right consistency that we're looking for. So I'm going to get about a cup's worth. What have you got there? Got the ice cream scoop? Perfect. What are you going to use that for?
The pepper.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, so I got about a cup, let's see, this is about a cup's worth of the flour, and then I also have just some regular old water. And then what I do is I do maybe about 3/4 of a cup of water to 1 cup of the flour. Oh, I was like, what's making that noise? It's our chayote that's in the oven. And then what you do is you just get in there with your hand. You could get some sort of fancy implement. But for me, when I'm doing the tortillas, I want a very specific texture. That's what I've really got going in mind, right? That's how grandmas cook. That's how we make the good tortillas, is we know how it's supposed to feel. Uh-oh, Kitty just took a dive.
No, Kitty.
Yeah, Kitty just took a dive. Kitty Cat is still up here. We're all right.
Kitty wants to swim.
So what I noticed as I started kneading it when I did that first combination of flour and water is it was way too sticky, way too wet. So I just added some more flour in there, some of the more of the flour mix, the tortilla mix. And as you start to work it, you see it's all coming together in a ball right there? That's what we're looking for. And you want it to be nice and spongy. That's kind of the texture we're looking for. And what's great about tortillas, and why I love tortillas, is you can't overmix them. Like going to town, really kneading them, getting in there is not a problem. You know, some recipes certainly you can overwork them and that's a problem, but when it comes to doing tortillas, we want gluten, we want that to bind together so that you get that really nice chewy effect. That's what we're going for. So I'm curious to know, for those of you who are hanging out here on the chat right now, because we are live from my kitchen on a Saturday afternoon. I'm curious to know if any of you have made tortillas, homemade tortillas before, because I think that it really makes a difference having handmade tortillas versus the store-bought version. This just to me is so much better. So you noticed I added a little bit more flour just because the texture again was still a little too sticky, like it was sticking to my fingers, right? Like we've got the globby monster fingers. That's not what we're going for. We want it to be nice and soft, but we don't want it to be crumbly and falling apart. So there's sort of like a balance in there. But the more you knead it, the chewier your tortillas are gonna be. Do you like tortillas, Blaise?
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves tortillas. You'll just eat tortillas straight up. Oh, you got a fly who's gonna pester you. I like your apron, buddy.
Yep.
Is that new?
Yeah, you gave it to me, Mommy.
Man, 5 years old and you've already got all the smarts. All right, so we continue to work it. I'm gonna take it out of the bowl so you guys can see it, and I'm gonna put it here on my work surface. Is it okay if I move kitty cat?
Yeah.
All right, so I've got my tortilla here, my dough, and I'm just gonna continue to work it. We're gonna knead the dough. Do you wanna knead some of your own dough?
Yeah.
I think we're doing good on pepper. I didn't end up actually using the pepper on the chayote, which is not a problem. All right, here's your dough ball, buddy. And what I want you to do is start kneading it just like this. So you take it and you smash it down with the back of the heel of your hand. Or you do that.
So I can smash it down.
You're gonna smash it?
A little.
Yeah? All right, show me how you do it, buddy. Show me how it's done. Looks good, looks good. All right. So, and this amount of dough depends on how big the tortillas that you're gonna do. I like to make sort of smaller street taco sized tortillas. So this will probably make about a dozen, but just depends on how big you make your tortillas. And now some people like to have those fancy tortilla presses. I don't believe in extra equipment in my kitchen. So I just do all this by hand. So I'm gonna put my dough to the side, and then I've got around about yay big. How big is that ball? That's maybe a ping pong ball sized. That's perfect. And then I'm gonna flour my work surface right here. Again, if you had a press, this would be easy peasy, but I don't like to have extra equipment in my kitchen. Okay, I was gonna get some flour there. And then, okay, don't block the view.
I'm gonna put it.
No, don't put it in there. Keep that on the work surface. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my rolling pin, gonna roll it just like this. And we want it pretty thin. So make it, I mean, I wouldn't make it like thin enough that it'll fall apart, obviously, but sort of as thin as possible, just because it's gonna give you the best final consistency on your tortilla. I like it nice and thin. That's how it cooks up the best. How's that looking, Blaise?
Good.
And then of course, if you are a control freak, you're gonna want these to be perfectly round, like me. But I'm not gonna be able to make it perfectly round because we're doing it by hand, which is what makes them special and extra unique and clearly not made in a factory. All right, here we go. These are looking pretty good. These are looking very nice. These are gonna be super tasty. And so in the meantime, what I have done, I have got a skillet over here on the cooktop going. It's rocking over at about a medium heat, and it's I'm using the cast iron skillet just because I live and die by my cast iron. And then so what you've got, you can see the tortilla. See how thin that is? That is perfect. Looks pretty good. So then what I'm gonna do is, you're not gonna be able to see this, but I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna walk you through it. I threw it into the cast iron skillet, a dry skillet. You do not wanna put any oil in there. You don't wanna put anything else. Just leave it in the dry skillet, and it's gonna give about 30 seconds per side. And then we're gonna flip it. So let's go ahead and give it about that amount of time. And what you're gonna start to see is it's gonna start to bubble up on you, which is perfect. Gonna get my tongs. Now if you're really wild and crazy, you can use your hands, but I'm gonna use tongs today. And you're gonna start to see it bubbling up and getting a little personality on it. It's not quite there yet. And then we've got everything chilling. So we're like in a holding pattern right now. Now, oh, okay, here, let's see. Can I clear out a space for everybody? Is it okay if your friends go on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, friends. Okay, let me show you guys what we're doing here. I want you to be able to see. Okay, watch out, Blaise. We're gonna have a hot, hot pan coming through here, all right? You clear the way, Bubba? Don't want you to get nailed with the heat. All right. So, what we can see, whew, I think I let that go a little too long. Oh, where's my tongs? Watch out, that thing's hot, okay? Here we go. So I flip it over, and that is just right, all right? So you guys kind of see, we got a little heat coming off of there. That's what you want, just a dry skillet with that flour tortilla in there. Gonna give that another about 20 seconds, and we will have fresh homemade flour tortillas. And our chayote is cooking. What did I tell you? I said about 4:10 we would take the chayote out. Blaise, you wanna make a tortilla? Or are you just gonna pound it with the...
You pound it like this. And then
Pound it with the scooper? All right, I'm gonna make some more tortillas while you do that. Because now this is the thing about flour tortillas. They do take a lot of time because you gotta do each one by hand. This is why having like a bunch of aunties or grandmas or other family members around is helpful, because you gotta press each one individually. That's gonna take a little bit of time. But that's all right. All right, we're gonna do another flour tortilla here. You guys see what's going on? Got to get that right amount of thickness. Oh, and here, pay attention to this guy. Don't forget him. Whew. And there is our beautiful homemade flour tortilla. Pretty cool, right? So now what I would do, these are perfect to eat just right now. Like they're super primo right now, but we're not going to eat right now. So what I want to do is just get a towel, get a nice little kitchen towel or something to keep them in. And we're gonna wrap those, all right? So you're gonna keep them nice and warm, just like in something like this. And I'll continue to pile each of them on top of each other. And then when we are ready to serve them, I'll just nuke that for a couple seconds. It'll soften them up and we'll be ready to eat them like tacos. Now, if you wanted to, you can definitely keep these, just throw them in, like if you wanted to do them for the next day, just throw them, did you do it?
I just put them in here.
Yeah?
And then.
Voila! Oh. Perfect. So if you wanted to make a bunch of these ahead of time, you could do that as well. Just stick them in a Ziploc bag and then again, nuke them for a couple seconds before you're ready to serve them. They'll last fresh for probably a couple days, although they are best straight out of the pan. So you could also roll them in the dough, which he's gonna make one big tortilla. That's gonna be a huge tortilla, buddy. Do you wanna taste it? Should we taste this tortilla? Ooh, they're nice and warm. You gonna go? No, you don't want to go for it?
Actually, I do.
Here. Oh. What do you think, buddy? Those are so good. Delicious. All right, I'm gonna take a peek at our chayote, see how he's doing. Ooh, they're roasting. We're gonna give those another couple minutes. What else are we making today?
Well.
Wow. It's gonna take us a while. Did we fill the pepper grinder? I don't think we did.
We did.
We did?
I filled it up. To the very
He
top.
did. He filled it all up. He's such a rock star. My little steampunk pepper grinder here. Trisha, I would love to give you some flour tortillas. We're having a party over here, but I only have like a dozen more to make, which the company comes at like 5 o'clock, so I might just run out and buy some. We'll see what happens. But we had fun trying, right? All right, I'm gonna take a peek at the chayote because it's a little premature to take it out, but I think it's gonna be all right. Give you guys, oh, it looks pretty good. Here we go. Woo! That is hot chayote. All right, here we go. I'm gonna show you guys. Watch out, Blaise. Back up, back up, back up. Here's our chayote, fresh out of the oven. You can see it's, oh, look at that steam coming off there. That looks pretty good. And for those of you who are just joining you, Chayote Squash is what we got. I just diced it up really nice. Threw it in a 450-degree oven for about 15 minutes. I also have a little salt on there and a little bit of this adobo seasoning, which I love this stuff. It's like crack. I don't know. It's really good. Just roasted that up. And we're gonna use this to put these in tacos later because I'm doing some chicken tacos and I thought it'd be fun to have just a couple little veggies on the side, rocking and ready to go, and show you guys how to deal with chayote. Do you wanna taste this, buddy?
No.
I love that. And so it's got kind of like a zucchini thing going on, but it's still got a lot of nice sweetness. Here, you need some of that? There you go. But it's got kind of that watery sort of texture that you get from a cucumber, but it's got enough like fleshiness that it works kind of like zucchini would. So I love chayote. If you've not tried it before, definitely check it out at the store. Like I said, you don't have to take the skins off. The skins are just fine. They're thin enough that you can crunch right through them. So it's not like butternut that you have to peel. Oh, where are we going? Andy's off. So anyway, we're gonna keep working on making dinner tonight. Get ready for our friends who are coming over. Blaise, do you have anything else to tell them before we sign off and say sayonara? He's a man on a mission, I tell you.
I know I am. So bye.
Say bye-bye. Hey, thanks you guys so much for stopping by. If you have any questions, feel free to shout me out. Find me on social media. But stay out of trouble. We'll go live in another couple days because I think this whole live thing is sort of a blast, right? Do you think so too? Yeah. All right. You guys take care. Happy Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Arrivederci. Adios. Did you say adios?
Adios. Bye.